Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Would you risk a Democratic Senate to ditch Mitch? Seems like some people would. Seems
Look
like
at
some people
those
are willing to do that.
jowls, man.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
I just
Slow
wanna,
down there, Democrats.
I just want to like. I want him to go. I just want him to make a
turkey-
noise and be like,
Yeah,
Mitch,
what's
just
that?
go, and I want to go.
What's that thing on a turkey called? Is it gobbler?
I don't know. I just want to touch it.
He's like a turkey turtle. Some sort of a weird
Hello,
horrible
sir.
combination. Good morning. How are you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty good.
Okay.
Ashley and I hung out and had a good time. How about you?
It was great. It was wonderful. I forgot the audience doesn't even care about us. I want to know.
Hey, are you working this Labor Day?
Not working today, unless you count entertaining my family, which is what I'm going to do.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play with my kids. My little girl comes in, gets me like as soon as it's 6:30 because she's allowed to get out of her room. But she came into our room. She was like, "Dad, I had a bad dream," and I know what she really wants is to climb in bed and cuddle. So I'm like, "Come here for a second, shh, be quiet," because mom's still asleep. And then like she can't be quiet, so immediately, so we just get up. I'm gonna go get coffee. We go downstairs, and then her sister comes downstairs, and this is the greatest thing. I'm sitting there like dorking on my phone, trying to find stories for this morning's show. I look down, and one of my daughters is grabbing the toes of my other daughter. And the second daughter is being a grabbing machine to go up and down and grab toys. And I look down, I'm like, oh my God, she's being a grabbing machine.
That's awesome.
I know. They love the grabbing machines. Yeah.
That sound awesome if I would just grab your feet and make you back with you. That's awesome. Eat that stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
No,
yes,
I got
if
a
she wants
video.
to come in there and cuddle. Stop that.
Yeah.
Nothing else in the world is important at that point.
Come on, postpone the show.
I'm
Good morning, everybody.
Cool with that. All right.
Good morning. If you're here, holler at us in the chat. And if you show up later, please leave a comment on the video. It makes us
dads.
your dad.
This is what we talk about. This is what dads talk about. We're not.
This is how it goes.
We're not freaking professional news reporters. All right, we're dads.
He actually is. He's a professional, award-winning. Some of the cast of this show are award-winning artists.
Some of them are award-winning broadcasters.
Yeah. All right, man. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but before we can start our news, we got to do culture, and we got to talk about. And it's actually news also.
Yeah, it's also news too. Yeah, we're doing
we got two of these. Are we gonna do? Do you know about the other one too? Right?
No.
The Smash Mouth lead singer.
Oh, I didn't know did he pass away?
He has not. He has
not yet. Okay. We can talk about both of these actually right now. Jimmy Buffett is who we're doing this week. Of course, I love Jimmy Buffett. I got to see him in me and my buddies were talking about it yesterday in our little Discord server, and we couldn't remember what year. We think it's about 97 or 98, we went down to Nashville to see him. The Bridgestone Arena, the hockey arena down there, wasn't called Bridgestone. It was called Gaylord at the time. And and I think we saw Jimmy there. I remember that Jimmy Buffett concert because have you ever been in a hockey arena, JJ?
Maybe once.
You know how steep it gets when you get way up in the nosebleed seats, how steep those are. My brother and I were in the very last row because there was about 3 feet behind us. That was a concrete slab to the wall, and we just stood up behind our seats. My brother had binoculars. He rented some binoculars, and he was watching Jimmy and watching the sound guy and stuff like that. But
that's cool.
Jimmy Buffett, he was one of those that's okay. Let me give you a cool story, and this one is nobody knows if it's true or not. Okay, and now nobody really knows if it's true because Jimmy's dead, and they only think 2 people ever knew if this story was true or not, and both of those people are dead. So
it immediately becomes lore, whatever this is.
It immediately becomes lore. Okay, so Jimmy Buffett was a weed smuggler. He was a weed smuggler back in his early days. He flew planes and he smuggled marijuana is what he did. But he also wrote music. And this song, Come Monday, is about his then girlfriend, Jane, who became his wife, Jane.
Okay.
And that's who this is about. Come Monday, we'll be all right. So Jimmy wrote this song called Margaritaville. And he had been playing it around in like 1975, 1976. And here's where the legend gets started. Someone thinks that one of Elvis's producers or one of Elvis's people got a hold of this song and gave it to Elvis. And the legend is that Elvis in late 76, early 77 was planning on recording Margaritaville. And Jimmy recorded Margaritaville in late 1976. Elvis died August 16th, 1977. Elvis had a recording studio appointment in January of 76, of 77, but that one got canceled. And there's all kinds of people that were around Elvis that said he had heard this song. This was one of his songs that he was going to record. And Jimmy always was a jokester. And every time somebody would ask him about it, he would give a different story and whatnot. So nobody really knows if Elvis had planned on recording Margaritaville, and if Elvis would have recorded Margaritaville, would we now be listening to Elvis's version of Margaritaville? Because nobody knew who the hell Jimmy Buffett was in 1976, but they knew who the hell Elvis was. Jimmy Buffett had a fan base, but they weren't anything like
nobody's been like Elvis.
Right. So he has become as great, if not surpassed, Elvis in fandom, in my opinion. Jimmy Buffett.
Really?
So,
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, those parrot heads.
You know what? In my imagination of you telling that story, Richard Nixon had commissioned Elvis Presley to be a federal police officer, and then he was chasing down Jimmy Buffett in a drug plane. This is our historical fiction movie.
And Margaritaville never comes.
This version of the story is no less true than any other version of the story.
And we never have the song Margaritaville, and because of that, the Earth goes into a dystopian future, a post-apocalyptic future, because we don't have Margaritaville, the song. Now, that song Margaritaville has been called like the perfect song structure song. And now it is. It's a beautifully written song with song structure. Yeah. So,
well, let me say this. Elvis may be the king of rock and roll.
No.
Hold on. He may be the king of rock and roll, but Elvis Presley, establishments wise, he's got Graceland. But Jimmy Buffett has got a fucking franchise of Margaritavilles all over the world.
Jimmy Buffett's got islands.
Let me just tell you, the drunkest I have ever been was Margaritaville in Cozumel. Oh, really? And my wife and I were on vacation. We were in Cozumel, and it was like 45 minutes till the boat sails. We better figure this out. And we got hammered. And I don't know how we got back from Margaritaville back to the dock, but I guarantee you some shit got broke on the way.
Jimmy carries your ass back, Yoda style.
Yeah.
No, all right. Well, let me just say this: Elvis is not the king of rock and roll. You've been brainwashed. The king of rock and roll is Chuck Berry. All right. Chuck Berry is the king of rock and roll, period. All right. He is the king of rock and roll, in my opinion. So? Elvis is not the king of rock and roll. Elvis was the made pop music. Elvis made black music okay to listen to for white people, is what Elvis did. And that was a big thing.
It was like bluesy.
It was black music. There was 2 different types of music back in the day. There was black music and white music. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. Now we got thousands, but that's what it was: black music and white music.
So, and Elvis was Freddie Mercury the queen of rock and roll?
I don't know. I guess. All right. So our other story I will get to music before we get to Mitch McConnell, since we're in music, is kind of a sad one too.
This is beating me up a little bit. I didn't even
see this one coming, man. I
had no idea.
Yeah, but Steve Harrowell from Smash Mouth is on his last days. He's on his
in hospice right now. The dude is young. He's 56 years old.
Guess what? Guess what it is? If you had to guess, did you read it?
Oh, I read some of this. He has liver cancer or liver failure.
Or liver failure from years of alcohol abuse, decades of alcohol abuse, because he was famous.
Yeah, my best friend died from this shit.
I guarantee you it's because he was famous. He had to live that lifestyle. Smash Mouth was huge when we just got out of high school.
Super
massive
fun.
All-Star and all the was the walk soon you'll be walking on the sun. That one was a big one, Walking on the Sun.
Big hit.
Huge hit.
And oh man.
Yeah,
it's such a bummer, dude.
His family says that he's now reached the final stage of liver failure, for which he'd up until recently been receiving treatment at a hospital. At this point, we're told that Steve is in hospice at the moment, where his friends and loved ones have gathered over the past 3 days. Steve's manager says he's likely only has a week or so left to live. That sucks, man. I like Smash. Yeah, they redid that Monkey song, I'm a Believer. I forgot about that for Shrek.
Yeah.
And those are the two. They don't even say Walking on the Sun. That's the big. When you say Smash Mouth, that's the first song that comes to me is Walking on the Sun. There was another song.
Kids, you can't be a hard living rock and roll. You can't live that badass life indefinitely. Your body can't hang in there.
Unless you're Keith Richards. You just can't unless you're Keith Richards. Yeah. Nobody knows how Keith Richards has done it for so long. Okay, so on that Fuss You Mang is that first album that they had in 1997. And Walking on the Sun's on that one. Also, Why Can't We Be Friends? Remember that war song, Why Can't We?
Yeah.
That's on there. There's a couple of songs that didn't make it on there. The Fonz, Beer Goggles, Flow, Pet Names. Those are all really good songs that I haven't heard in years. We might have to add some Steve Harrowell Smash Mouth this week with
I have I think the one I had was the yellow one. The yellow Smash Mouth CD.
That was the self-titled one. That one came out in 2001. But they had like 3, like Astro Lounge was 99, and that one had Radio, In the Morning Comes, let's see, Satellite. Can't get enough of you, baby. Remember that one?
Yeah, the 5th search result on Smash Mouth right now is Smash Mouth tickets and tour dates for 2023. So that's not good. All right. Well, that's bummer. That's bummer news right there. All right, folks. He's answering the phone, so I'm gonna turn off all these thingamajigs. Oh, he did it for me. Okay, cool. All right, guys.
Yeah, I was trying to do it.
Here we go. If you saw our title a little bit ago, would you risk a Democratic-controlled Senate in order to ditch Mitch? We'll have to see what happens here, because right now,
picture makes me want to do exercises.
Yeah, you just need to. I don't know. Figure it out. Maybe you need to do some of those chewing exercises where you like work your jaw. You definitely don't want to be able to shake your head no, and then your neck keeps going after you stop. It's not good. Not a good look. A GOP Senator Rounds says McConnell is a capable leader, and he's still sharp and shrewd.
So is Dianne Feinstein.
Mm-hmm. Just vote here. Senator Rounds said on Sunday's CNN's State of the Union that Senator Mitch McConnell was fully capable of being a leader after he froze for like 30 seconds and was unresponsive during press conferences, multiple press conferences now. But we ran the video on the last Friday's show. Rounds said, I spoke with Mitch yesterday afternoon and I told him I was going to be doing an interview and I wanted to personally touch base with him before I did that. And he was in good shape. He was direct. He said, I had that concussion. They warned me that I would be lightheaded in the future and I had to be aware of it. And it happened twice and it just happened. I'm doing it in front of reporters. But he felt good yesterday. He said he's going to watch his hydration levels. Mitch is sharp and shrewd. He understands what needs to be done. I will agree. Mitch McConnell is shrewd as fuck.
We talked about that last week. Yes. He is one of the in history. He will go down in history as one of the most silver-tongued devils.
Yeah,
period.
For sure, absolutely. I'll leave it up to him as he wants to discuss it with the American public, but there is no doubt in my mind he is perfectly capable of continuing on at this stage of the game, and he has a good team around him and good job developing that leadership team. Dana Bash said, "Are you comfortable with him staying leader?" Oh yes, sure. That was a comment from GOP Senator Rounds. Now, the reason why I say all of that is because Deacon, your governor. I'm going to say his name wrong.
King Andy Bashir.
King Andy Bashir is a Democrat. Kentucky has a Democrat as a governor, which means that if Senator McConnell were to step down for health reasons or for any other reasons, it would be the job of the governor of the state of Kentucky to appoint an interim senator.
Right.
Until such time as elections could be held.
But let me tell you this piece of information, JJ. Back in 2001, Kentucky Republicans overrode Andy Bashir's veto and passed a law requiring Senate vacancies to be temporarily filled by someone within the same party affiliation of the departing.
Right. That would be good. That would be good that he would be for, except who gets to decide who's a Republican? So who gets to decide who puts an R next to their name?
From the question that was proposed to Andy right here, Andy kind of talks like this. Andy Bashir, he told reporters there is no Senate vacancy. All right, Senator McConnell has said he's going to serve out his term, and I believe him. So I'm not going to speculate about something that hasn't happened and isn't going to happen. They kept asking him this question, and one of the questions that one of the people said was something to the effect of, will you accept the 3 proposed nominees from the GOP? And I didn't know anything about that. I'm just going by what the question speculated there, that the GOP is going to be has to give 3 nominees for Andy Bashir to pick from. Is what it seemed like to me, but that is just what the guy asked in the question, and I'm just speculating as a person from You Can't Trust.
So what if the governor of Kentucky says, no, I'm just going to replace him with a Democrat anyway, even though Kentucky law statute says it has to be a person of the same party? What if the governor's just like, well, no, Democrat, sue me?
At this point, I can tell you that you don't live in Kentucky, but at this point, he would be signing his own death warrant.
Think so?
And Andy Bashir is so hated.
You mean politically?
Politically. Yeah, politically. That's what of course, politically. He'd be signing his own death warrant politically. He is so hated in this state after what he did with the COVID stuff that it's going to be hard for him to be reelected anyway. I think it's going to be a tough battle for Andy Bashir this next reelection. And if he overrode and did something like this, he might as well take up botany, okay? Because he's not going to be the governor anymore of this state.
I mean, if you can't win, sometimes you got nothing to lose, right?
McConnell has 3 more years until his term expires. All right. It was just not too long ago that the chick tried to, what's her name? Allison Lindergan Grimes tried to. So, I mean, it doesn't sound feasible what the excuse that he just gave. Absolutely, it sounds feasible. He did suffer concussion. He had broken ribs and lightheadedness and whatnot. You can WebMD that shit, and it's going to tell you that right now. And he does look like a little feeble old man that's lost his mind, and we just need to say, like I was doing last year. But if he's still sharp, let him be sharp. At this point, I'm like arguing with myself from last week. Last week, I was wanting to put him in a nursing home.
Get rid of him.
And get somebody younger.
But end of life care. Put him in hospice.
But
I'm dying. I got a headache.
I still believe that.
No.
I mean,
put him in hospice.
At the end of his term, I don't think that, I mean, after the 3 years, I think we need to be like, all right, look, 90 and you're fucking done.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it should be like 72 is honestly what I think. What do you think the number should be?
In terms of
what do you think the expiration number should be? The cutoff when you hit this number?
I think you start collecting Social Security, then you stop being a public servant. That's what I think. Once like, you get that age,
65.
Okay, all right, let's do that. Yeah. If you become eligible to be on the government teat, then you become ineligible to be the government. That's what I think.
What age?
And oh well, that's not fine. We got plenty of people in their 60s. Yeah. Okay. Well, then raise the age of Social Security. Oh, do you want to do that? Okay. Well, then.
Oh, it'll be 67 for people born 60 or later, and by the time it gets to us, it'll be fucking 72. So.
And you want to say hi to the audience and also Uncle Andy, Uncle Deacon?
Hi, Uncle Deacon.
Look at that. Hey, do you want to tell everybody that you're going to have a fundraiser soon and they need to support us? Mm-hmm. You want to tell people?
What are we selling?
Say, support my school.
Support my school.
Hey, try this line. Try this line. See if this fits. Like and subscribe. All right.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Good. Yay.
Good. All right. Come on. Thank you for the medicine, dear. Close the door on your way.
Yeah, if you're done with your show, you can come play with me with the.
Yes.
Playing with Legos.
Yes, Legos for sure. 100%. Okay.
It's so cute watching their personalities so different. So different than Lily would have been jumping over your head and making faces into the camera.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's crazy how different they are. And they're not biologically related to us. Lily is just like my wife. And Jill is very much like me.
They're full-blooded sisters, though.
Yeah, full-blooded sisters. Yes. Yeah. It's crazy that they're like little clones of us in the way they behave and the way they kind of like interpret the world.
Hey, nurture and nature are two different things, but they affect just as much. You do not have to be a blooded parent to completely influence the child. My stepdaughter Kinder is more like me than my real kids. It's so weird in more ways than just. It's really weird. So
you got 5 kids, and actually I was out today and I saw some. I don't know how this post flew up in my Twitter feed, and I was like, it was something about I don't know what it was about. Like it was about wages from like the 1930s and then now comparing it or whatever, and like how much a house costs, how much this and that and whatever. And then I looked through it, and somebody was like, oh man, thank God I made $131,000 last year. I was like, okay, it kept. And somebody else said,
"Did you see my comment?"
I was like, I saw somebody else say, "I made $31,000 last year, and have 5 kids. You should be grateful." And I was like, "Hold up, how did this end up in my feed?" Anyway, if I were to say, "Hey, 30,000 and 5 kids, or 130,000," I know who is actually rich.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So during the Great Depression in 1930, the average home cost was $3,900. The average car cost was $600, and the average rent was about $216 a year.
Yeah.
The average salary was $1,300 per year.
Yeah.
Today in Joe Biden's America, the average house costs $436,000.
Right.
The average car costs $48,000. In 1997, would you have ever thought that a freaking brand new car, the average price of a brand new car would be $48,000?
That's nuts.
That blows my mind.
That's half the price of the first house I bought.
I know. And this is how far behind I am. That's funny. This is how far behind I am in my thinking. We were going to visit my aunt one day last year, and this super nice freaking car drove by.
Yeah.
And my brother's like, "That's the blah blah blah.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, I bet that's $100,000 car. My brother looked at me. He was like, this fucking truck we're driving in is about a $90,000 truck, dude. I'm like, oh, I guess it's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, these damn trucks anymore expensive. So anyway, the average rent's about $24,000 a year. The average income is $56,000 a year. I've heard people call this the silent depression because we are making less now than our grandparents, our great grandparents did.
Yeah.
During the depression.
You're in terms of the ability of surplus cash in your life to be able to save, to be able to have to accommodate. Yeah, you're being squeezed like a rag. You're being squeezed bone dry.
My grandfather in 1933 would have been 21 years old. He was born in 1912. So he would have been 21 years old, about the same era that we are now. So he would have been working through this, my grandfather. And I can remember sitting there watching him put a piece of bread in a bowl and pour milk in it and eat the bread and milk. And then he would get sardines and crackers and eat sardines. And that's what he ate. And I just thought it was gross as a kid. And I thought, granddad's weird and whatnot, until I got older and became a history buff and started reading and learning about history and the Great Depression and whatnot. And I learned that was a cheap meal. Those were cheap poor people meals that they ate during the Great Depression that my grandfather kept his entire life. They
never let go of that stuff. They were traumatized as an entire generation, dude. All right, let's keep going. Let's move on.
All right.
Hey, if you ever need somebody who's full of shit to say something on TV, you've always got Adam Schiff, who says that the 14th Amendment disqualification fits Donald Trump to a T. The 14th Amendment. Let's see here. I've got it right here. Rep. Adam Schiff on Sunday said he believes the argument some legal experts are making that former President Trump is disqualified from holding elected office because of the 14th Amendment is valid, adding that part of the amendment that bans those who engage in insurrection from holding elected office fits Donald Trump to a T. Let's see. Here I have. The 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof and are citizens of the U.S. and the state in which they reside. No state shall make or enforce a law which shall abridge the privileges. Wow, the 14th Amendment is pretty long. Let's see. Where's the provision of insurrection? Well, anyway, that had to do with the Civil War, dude. That entire amendment had to do with the Civil War and the people that rebelled against the Union, that were the Confederates. They were not allowed to run for president. That's what that had to do with. This has never been challenged or used in court. Democrats are trying to use the 14th Amendment from the Civil War to prevent Donald Trump from running for president because they're afraid of Donald Trump. That's the whole dealio. What's going on there?
I agree. We are taping the head back.
Yeah. Okay. So, very important lately in our household has been the Raya the Last Dragon, and not only is it important that there are Raya the Last Dragon toys, it's also very important that we make them out of paper and stuff them with cotton balls, and then when they get torn, they have to be repaired.
What is it when you? I know what an appendectomy is, but what if your head falls off and has to be taped back on? Is there a name for that? It's a
headedectomy.
That's the correct Latin term. Headedectomy.
Headedectomy. A head putation. All right. In an interview with Jen Psaki, Schiff noted the 14th Amendment does not say someone must be convicted of insurrection. You could just be accused of insurrection, and you're now not allowed to be president.
I accuse you of insurrection. Now you're not allowed to be president, AJ.
Oh,
excuse me,
man! I got trimmed. I got shift here. You shifted me. Shifted me.
I'm shifty.
All right.
I got one.
Bullshit. Yeah.
This one, I'm sure you.
Are you going to do that? Wait, what are you doing here? Are you doing the guys that are? Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to point this out. Just one thing, what I want to point out, because you've seen this everywhere all weekend long. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's just one thing you've seen these neo-Nazi guys.
Yeah.
And they were down in Florida and they were doing this, and you've seen these guys talk, and you've seen the crazy guy that looks like the lizard guy back here.
Yeah.
You know, and what is the number one thing that you've heard about these guys?
Feds. Feds. Those are feds. I mean, those two guys are probably like legit racists or whatever. Look, but a bunch of those guys in masks, all wearing masks and stuff, they're all feds.
I'm here to tell you that some of those guys are real.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe, because it's real easy to whip stupid people into doing dumb shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you see this dude, this Hammer, Christopher Hammer.
Yeah.
You don't want to disrespect Christopher.
You don't. What if you sleep with his wife? Did you see that video where he was crying because someone was sleeping with his wife?
No, really?
Yes. He was getting cucked and he was crying about it. Hold on, let me find that video.
I hope people realize that we're being facetious in this.
I'm serious.
No, I know. I'm joking about all this. These are freaking feds.
Let's see.
I don't care how many people say these people are real. No, these are feds.
It was okay. Have you ever heard of Blood Tribe? No, you've never heard of it. It didn't even exist. It didn't even exist. And maybe it did. I don't know. Never heard of Blood Tribe. And then they show up, all of them in uniform, all of them in matching t-shirts and stuff. Despite the fact that nowhere on the internet has anyone ever recruited or organized Blood Tribe. No one has ever been like putting feelers out like, hey, maybe we're going to have like a barbecue and you come over. It's never happened. So these guys just show up on some random unimportant bridge in Florida.
He's got a sweet goat tattoo there on his neck.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at the he's got a little skull Nazi SS thing down here in the corner. You see this?
It's going to take me a minute to find that video of him crying over his wife. I might have to I have to visit this tomorrow. So
when I first saw this guy over here, I thought it was the lizard guy with the forked tongue and whatnot.
Right. We're supposed to be upset because white supremacists are taking over everything. They took over a bridge and now I'm not sure how I'm supposed to react to these dipshits on a bridge.
So when I was, when we were like 19, 20, 21, whatnot, we used to go to the Fish shows all the time. Fish, the band. And we would stand around, and you could look over and look around and you'd see the old guy wearing the brand new, Teva sandals. And he had on a brand new Grateful Dead shirt and he had a baseball hat on. And you're always like, dude, don't fire that up. That's a cop over there. Look, those are narcs. Look, you can pick the narcs out. You can see them. And so me and my brothers had that conversation. Now it's like, are we the old guys that the young people look at and think are the narcs? And me and my brother have been like, no, we're not, because we fit into the category a little bit better than some of these people. You know how you can look at you can look through this crowd and be like, narc.
Yeah, right. No, and just assume anybody wearing a black mask over their head is a Fed, just propping up the numbers, just trying to make it look like there are hordes of racists that maybe there are. I don't know. But in practical life, like I've never seen anybody. Hey, David, what's up? David, do you got any important racist organization facts for us? Then let us know and we'll share those. Here I have a video message from that Uber Mitch that you saw in the video here. Check this out. Let's see what he has to say.
Like fun, flirty text to like nasty in a couple days. So I know what's happening, and I'm not dumb. And it's not even like, look, I don't care about my wife. She can fuck and be with any dude she wants. Just from my
yeah, sure. Out, you're the super race, dude. Whatever.
You're the super race.
Okay. Neo-Nazis are dumbasses. All right. Deke.
You can't ask me a question right now. I got to talk for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Okay. A new law has been passed in Texas that requires drunk drivers to pay child support if they kill a kid's parent or guardian. So drunk drivers in Texas will now need to pay child support if they kill a parent or guardian in a car crash, according to a new law that went into effect Friday. The bipartisan bill was signed by Governor Greg Abbott in June. It rules that any person found guilty of intoxicated manslaughter must pay child support to the victim in the amount determined by the judge. Nicknamed Bentley's Law, the provision is being pushed in multiple states nationwide, started by a Missouri woman who lost her son, daughter-in-law, and grandchild in a drunk driving crash in 2021. Those who can't pay will be given payment plans, and those in prison will be forced to pay support within the first year of release. An intoxicated manslaughter charge can carry a penalty of 20 years in the state of Texas, and Abbott said he was proud to sign the bill earlier this year. Anytime a parent passes is tragic, but the death at the hands of a drunk driver is especially heinous. Tennessee was the first state to pass a similar measure last year, and it is being considered in about 20 more states. This is great. This is absolutely awesome. Drunk driving is a big deal, big problem. And, we live in a country where you have freedom, you have liberty. You must be responsible for your own freedom and liberty. If you're going to go and drink and go run around town and drink, then you're to be responsible to get home safely. And if you choose with your liberty to get in a car and put other people at risk and then kill somebody, you absolutely are obligated to them. Obligated. So for sure. So Deke, I don't know if you heard any of this, but
no, I'm just now.
Yeah. He's doing a thing. Okay. So that's good. I got nothing negative to say about that. I think that's pretty great. Also, don't drink and drive. You dumbass. You're not the one that can get drunk and drive and it'd be okay. Don't do that.
I saw that. Are you talking about the Texas law?
Yeah. And it's not just Texas,
everywhere.
They're pushing in it right now.
Good. That needs to be everywhere.
Yeah,
that needs to be everywhere.
Drink, drive, go to jail, and then you owe somebody for the until they turn 18. You owe them their parents.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of driving, there's another driver story that I wanted to bring up. To
we'll get to that because we got a couple of other things. I guess I should have bumped those car stories together.
No, that's all
right. A British court has recently ruled that competent and conscious patient can be denied life-sustaining treatment against her will. Did you hear this? Yeah.
Say that again.
A British court, so it's not the U.S., but, a lot of times stuff that people do in other countries, our courts are like, there's precedent from other... Okay.
Right.
In a British court has ruled that a competent and conscious patient. So I'm sick. I need help. I want to live. A court said, we're not going to give you life-sustaining treatment, even though you're competent and conscious and want to survive. We can rule against life-sustaining treatment. British doctors are seeking to take 19-year-old critically ill female patient off of intensive care, despite her objections and those of her parents. This is what happens when medical care is universal and then doled out to you by the government. Unlike most cases, the woman is known as ST, still conscious, still communicative, but she's in intensive care to keep her alive. Doctors argue she is not being realistic about her chances of survival from a rare disorder. So she's not quit. She may not be able to survive, but she ain't quit yet. And they're like, let's just unplug her. Let's just take her off the bleep blop machine.
Did you know that you said she was labeled as what, ST, still conscious or whatnot?
Yeah.
Did you know that health professionals have all of these secret codes that they know to each other that they're just initials of shit that they make fun of you with? My ex-wife is a fucking nurse practitioner, and she's been a nurse for 2 decades. I know this for a fact. The PGP means poor gene pool.
Oh,
that means that you've got a poor gene pool. that PGP. If it's written PGP, poor gene pool, that means you're scum. They think you're scummy.
That's not good.
They have all these little codes. Health professionals do. Ask a health professional. Just don't ask them in public. They'll be like, "Hey, do y'all have like secret codes to make fun of patients?" And they'll be like, "The ones that'll be truthful with you will straight up be like, hell yeah, we do."
Oh my gosh,
they do. They straight up do.
There's a bunch here, but okay. So this kind of sets the precedent. Like the court has basically said, yeah, if the doctors want to take you off life support, there's no recourse. You can't appeal it. They unplug you, and then you die. But this is what happens when the government.
The family not have any recourse to sue the government.
I mean,
the family can sue the hospital, sue the individuals that actually pulled the plug that did that. I mean, the individual that pulled. I mean,
I don't know.
This looks like this would be. This is silly. This seems like this is.
I mean, it's not silly to this girl. She's, she might not be able to survive on her own, but she's not comatose. She's not vegetable. You know what I mean? I don't know what to see. To see if this runs anywhere else. Here's another story, a legalese type story. CNN had a tweet, and the CNN tweet said, quote, 2 men in Uganda are facing separate charges of aggravated homosexuality, an offense punishable by death under the country's controversial new anti-gay laws. So CNN pushed this story with the framing that these men are being persecuted for being anti-gay. Leaving aside the a couple of details. The details being that the men who were having this aggravated homosexuality were doing so with a child under 12. So
they were raping a child that was under 12 is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And one child under 12 and I believe one mentally ill man. So the CNN's framing of that is that raping children under 12 or the mentally ill is anti-homophobic or is anti-gay.
Further proof why you shouldn't watch the shit and listen to the mind control that is CNN. Why do you even waste your time?
No, you shouldn't do that.
Well, you shouldn't. The only thing that you should do with CNN is do what JJ and I do and point out how stupid it is and how it's trying to control your brain.
I mean, yeah. Well, look, everything's trying to control your brain. I'm trying to control your brain right now, but I'm just trying to get you to giggle. Oh,
I'm just trying to get you to listen to some Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, he's trying to work your way back to fish. He's trying to convert you all into fish heads. All right, Deke, let's do the driver story, and then we can do the other AI thing. But I have nothing but a big fat ad for a New York Times, so I'm gonna let you do the driver story.
Oh, the driver story. You got
a big old fat ad block. Yeah.
Oh, I might get a big old fat ad block. I don't know why I'm not. Okay, so the two cruise driverless taxis, in San Francisco, and we talked about. Remember, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, we talked about how these driverless taxis. Remember these? Were all screwing up at a four-way stop or at a traffic signal because they had lost Wi-Fi signal. The Wi-Fi was screwing up, remember? And they were all messed up, and it caused a huge traffic jam there in San Francisco because 4 of them had met up and were blocking the road.
Yeah.
Well, now these driverless taxis blocked an ambulance carrying a critically injured patient who later died at the hospital.
Oh, boy.
A San Francisco Fire Department report said in another incident involving self-driving cars in the city. On August 14th, 2 Cruise autonomous vehicles were were stopped in the lanes. Hang on.
Let me see if I can read it. 2 Cruise autonomous vehicles were stopped in the right 2 lanes of a 4-lane one street in the Soma neighborhood where a victim was found, according to the department. It said a police vehicle in another lane had been moved in order for the ambulance to leave. The driverless vehicles delayed transport and medical care, the report said. The patient who had been struck by a car was pronounced dead 20 to 30 minutes after arriving at the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital. Zuckerberg?
That's fucking San Francisco.
Wow. 2.5 miles from the incident.
Oh my God. Is that really named after them?
I feel I'm going to fact check that. You keep going with the story. I'm going to fact check that.
Yeah, fact check that. Oh my God, that's great if it is. So at the where was that? At the Zuckerberg Hospital.
Yeah.
For the car. I can't believe you just put the fucking person in the taxi, and the taxi should go straight to the Zuckerberg Hospital, shouldn't it? The Cruise, an autonomous vehicle subsidiary of General Motors, said that it was not at fault. Of course it did. The footage Cruise shared with the New York Times appeared to show that one of its vehicles had moved from the scene before the victim was loaded into the ambulance, while the other stopped in the right lane until the ambulance left. The footage also shows that other vehicles, including another ambulance, passed by the right of the Cruise taxi. As soon as the victim was loaded into the ambulance left the scene immediately and was never impeded by the Cruise vehicle, the company said in a statement. The ambulance passed the stopped Cruise vehicle approximately 90 seconds after loading the victim, according to the footage. Cruise says that a police officer spoke to one of its employees through remote assistance in the vehicle, and that the company was able to navigate it away from the scene after the ambulance left. So, did it block or did it not? Because the front of the article says driverless taxis blocks ambulance in fatal accident, San Francisco Fire Department says, but you read halfway through the fucking New York Times piece of shit article and it basically contradicts its fucking self. So what the fuck are we supposed to believe?
Surprise.
New York Times? Jesus Christ.
I tell you what you need to know is that the Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center is a public hospital in San Fran. It's named after Facebook owner. He must have just given them tons of money. A $75 million donation by Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan covered 7.5% of the overall costs. In recognition, the hospital was renamed after the couple. If you can cover 7% of a hospital, you can have it. You can have your own hospital. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're just going to have more and more of these autonomous robot cars in the way. We've already seen them pull over when pulled over by police, and then the police gets out and they're like, "There's nobody in the car," and the car's just like leaves. So there's nobody to arrest. There's not, and the company says they're not responsible. You put those vehicles on the road, you're responsible for whatever happens. Nobody's in it. You're still responsible. That's what I say. But that may not be the law. That's just what common sense dictates. All right. So we have this other AI story. Where is it at? I don't even know where I'm at. Okay, so that's check this out. Deke AI News. A report says that 90% of online content may be AI generated garbage by 2026.
Yep, probably.
Yep. A recent report from Europol warns that by 2026, 90% is going to be trash. 90% of this show might actually be online AI generated trash right now.
Trash. I mean, not everything that it spits out is trash.
Yeah, but if it's completely made up, if it's like supposed to be news and it's just auto generated,
if it's auto generated and made up, yeah, absolutely. But you don't have to use it for that.
In most cases, synthetic media is generated for gaming, to improve services, or to improve quality of life, the report states. While AI-generated content has its merits, such as enhancing user experience in gaming, or like, are they talking about like ads and stuff for the background of your game so that it feels like a lived-in world? It also opens the door to more nefarious uses. The increase in synthetic media and improved technology has given rise to disinformation possibilities.
Do you not know what's the video game that has I can't remember the name of the damn video game. There's a video game out there that they're fixing to put AI into. And this video game has, like, you could play this video game until the end of eternity. This video game is like massively huge. I can't remember what it is, but there's been a lot of talk about AI going into video games and create and having like they were going to put AI into the Sims. Okay. Imagine AI going into the Sims, giving every Sims. Wait a minute, just think about this for a second. Giving every Sims person in your neighborhood, and let's say you have all the packs and have everything for the Sims. So your Sims characters are not just the baseline, they have everything offered that you can put in their house. Digital computers, digital whatevers, 3D printers in the game, whatever you give them, they have it. Cars, everything. Now give them AI. How long is it going to take before those AI Sims in your video game start creating stuff on their own and start questioning, am I in a video game? And I proposed this a long time ago for Skyrim when AI first came out. I was like, somebody said, wouldn't this go great in Skyrim? That would be freaking phenomenal. I wasn't the only one that thought about this. Put your AI in the video game NPCs, and that becomes a real world. In essence, it becomes a real world because every single one of those non-player characters is a singular artificial intelligence doing its own thing in your own little world.
I was totally on board with this until you said The Sims, and I was like, what a shitty game.
That game, though, is one that they are talking about putting AI into.
Yeah.
The Sims. That game is a massive game.
I would rather have a shadow run, a brand new shadow run with AI driven NPCs.
That's a possibility now.
That would be cool.
This.
Okay. All right. 90% fake content. We may have 90% fake content right now, and it's not even AI generated. It's generated by.
But if you were a newspaper person and you weren't as eloquent, with your typing, you could be like, I want to write a story about this red bearded guy who collects comic books and buys all this stuff from indie comic book people, and he spends a little bit of money with it. He supports indie, so it would help you do that.
Okay, hold on. And in this game, the character has a friend who's trying to convince him he's in a simulation, but he is, despite the fact that he's in a simulation, refuses to admit he's in a simulation.
And even though he's computer code, his sugar's fucked up and he has to drink special shit all the time. He can't just fix the code and be healthy like everybody else.
Patch. All right. Ding. Oh, you got a skill point there, Deke.
I got a skill point.
Yeah.
I have a health point now.
Yeah. All right. We got a couple of other interesting things. This is more like interesting type news. Let's see. We got 2 aviation stories.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the bummer first, or do you want to do the oh, that's neat first?
2 aviation stories.
Yeah. We'll go with the bummer first. And we'll end on the oh, that's neat.
We missed one big story that I wanted to say.
What did we say?
I wanted to point this out. I know this is not a big deal to you, but this is a huge thing going on right now that they're going to be talking about today. Okay? They were talking about yesterday, and people just kind of ignored it. More than 70 people are stuck in the freaking desert right now in the Nevada. They're for the Burning Man Festival. A friend of mine, a friend of ours, went out to the Burning Man Festival. She has not answered any texts that we've sent her, but these people are trapped out here at Burning Man because it became a downpour. And if you know anything about geology and whatnot, you know that it comes a downpour in the desert. The desert don't just go and suck up all the water. It don't do that. So it's created mud and flooding situations where they've shut down roads. They've shut down everything. They basically told 70,000 people, sorry about your fucking luck. Hope you ration your food. And these toilets are overflowing with stuff. And some of these people in these messages and tweets and private messages and snaps and stuff like that are saying that people are really, really sick. And some of these people are saying it's Ebola out there.
Oh, what? Ebola?
Yeah. And then that started a whole new thing about a whole new conspiracy theory about Ebola vaccines that were mentioned several years ago, whatnot, and a couple of years ago, and what reason would we need Ebola vaccine?
Why would they jump to Ebola?
Because they were saying that all of the porta potties overflowed and mixed with the mud, and everybody was just walking around in feces and stuff. So that's the excuse, but you can't go by what CNN said, CNN, you can't go by, I'm just using this as to tell you the headline. You can't go by what they say. If you want the real news, look, if you don't have Snapchat, you don't have to do anything. Look, you go to Snapchat and you go down here to location, and then you can just go to, where's Burning Man at? Let's just go out to the Nevada desert, and you zoom way in, and it starts showing you little like, look, I can look and start watching all the snaps that are coming out of the Aguila Fria National Monument right now. And I can start watching what people are doing right there at that moment. So you can go out and watch what everybody is doing just on this app. That's just on that app. There's all kinds of apps that do that. So if you want the real story from the real people, go do that and quit listening to CNN and the New York Times.
Wow.
I just wanted to point
so
that
you
out.
have a friend. You have a friend that's out there
right now. Yes, our friend Melanie is out there.
Were it not for your friend that's out there, Burning Man is a big old party in the desert, right?
A huge party for rich people that want to be free and be one with the earth. I've always thought Burning Man was ridiculous. Always thought Burning Man was ridiculous
because it seems like this is a disaster that is entirely manufactured. They didn't check the weather, and they didn't bring enough shit, and they don't have enough gear, and they didn't have to be out in the desert.
I didn't say anything. I mean, I'm just pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out. I like my friend. She's a sweet,
for sure
person.
Let's put a pin in Burning Man, and then next year, let's check back in to see if the Burning Man attendance goes up or down.
Oh no, it'll go up.
I'm sure it will.
All right, so do your
however bad it is, it isn't as bad as the year we had Ebola.
Do your one airplane story.
Yeah, all right, let's do this bummer one.
I don't know what the bummer one is.
Yeah, okay. So, Deke, did you ever do a gender reveal party?
Oh, that's the bummer one. Oh,
yeah, it is a bummer.
No, I just want to talk about this one real quick. Yeah, when I showed that.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. No, gender reveal parties are stupid. I can't believe people still do them.
Stupid. Okay, so
women. That's no guy has ever wanted to do a fucking gender reveal party.
No.
The only reason those guys do that
women
is to
entirely.
Appease their fucking woman.
Yeah,
only reason
because their woman is like, we need to do a gender reveal party. It'll be great. All my friends were like,
we don't give a shit.
A pilot dies in a gender reveal stunt. Now, this is right up on there with that one a couple years ago. Remember that one where they did a gender reveal, like exploding balloon or something, and it caught an entire forest on fire? Well,
I remember the one where they dyed this waterfall blue, and it ended up that waterfall was the town's fucking drinking water. The whole town's drinking water, and they ended up having to go
poison their town.
Poisoned the drinking water.
Awesome. A pilot flying a plane in a gender reveal. Now he was just hired to do this. This is actually sad. He was hired to do this stunt. So these people on the ground could like stand there and have right behind them a plane fly over and dump some blue powder or red powder or whatever. And as the airplane flies over, as it's flying overhead, the gender reveal cannon that shoots out the powder shit fucked up the plane. It caused it to crash the plane. Pilot died right in front of all of the people watching the start.
No, the people were watching the plane. You don't see it because both shots kind of turn away from the plane, but you see the plane fly. It goes over the people, and then it goes up. It goes up like this, and then you lose sight because both camera angles just kind of fly away from it, so you don't actually hear it or see it. But all the people there. Can you on one of those? Because I watched two videos.
You literally see when the
wing come up.
You see the wings, both of the wings explode up, fold up, and then the plane tumbles and crashes.
No, you don't see it crash. They move the camera away both times.
You don't see the crash. It goes over some trees, but there's no way that's coming down soft.
No, it's not.
The wings broke off.
It looked like everybody wasn't watching that. It looks like they was watching the couple was hugging each other.
Yeah. Right.
They didn't even
care
that this dude died.
Women, this is a message from your two dads. Stop this shit. Stop doing gender reveal parties and killing people with your narcissistic dumb shit.
All right. Do your other cool one. I had one here I'm going to save till tomorrow because I just added this one because of you. So we'll save this.
Oh, did you?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's because of me.
Yeah,
I told my wife about it.
That was straight up. I was like, "Oh, JJ will appreciate this one."
Yeah. All right. Investigators are working on a new lead into Amelia Earhart's disappearance.
Really?
I file this personally under the things of like, okay. A new image discovered in a photograph taken in 2009 to a remote Pacific island has reignited hope that answers to what happened to Amelia Earhart 86 years ago might soon be found. Investigators studying the photograph taken in 2009 have suggested that an engine cover is seen buried under the water, and that could have been part of Amelia Earhart's missing Lockheed Electra plane. There's an object in the photo that appears to be a Lockheed engine cowling. So is there a photo? This story doesn't run the photo with the thing in the water.
Okay, so here's what I have found out about a lot of this stuff that they find underneath the water, JJ. The people that own the water, they don't want you looking up this shit. And I'm not saying this is the case here, but
they don't want you to find the spot.
There are a lot of stuff that's underneath the ocean and whatnot that they stop you from looking it up for some reason. Like off the coast of Florida, in the Gulf of Mexico. Have you heard about the pyramids and the buildings that have been found underneath out there in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah.
Look that up. Yeah. They found pyramid and building structures down there. And it's but I don't know. It looks to me like if they found something like that in the water, you would immediately go out there and start trying to look it up and see, is this Amelia Earhart? But I mean, some people just don't want it known.
God, these ads. So many ads. Close this ad.
Ashley actually just sent me a message from our friend Burning Man. And she said that she's okay. So yeah, it's funny.
I'm glad she's okay. Make sure she doesn't have Ebola. That's not sympathetic. I'm sorry. So here's the photograph in question next to the sweater here. Apparently, this little spot right here. Can you see this little spot right here? Yeah. This is the whole thing. This is like, oh, that could be a Lockheed Martin cowling or a Lockheed Electra cowling.
It looks just like one to me.
Yeah, this story is trash. Here, I'm gonna solve the mystery. Amelia Earhart got into an airplane, flew over the Pacific Ocean, and crashed. She was trying to do a gender reveal and blew. Oh,
she was trying to do a gender reveal. Jeez,
guys, I'm sorry. All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching. It's joke time. Let's do jokes.
All right. If you will look over JJ's head, because it hasn't been there all day long, if you will look over JJ's head, boom. See,
right here
to the Discord server. Yeah. Go to the Discord
server. Come hang out with us.
And come hang out with us. I've been, if you want to listen to my radio station, I've been adding that in the morning from like 6:30 to about 7:45 or so. I'm playing some good music and I'll take your requests. So do that. All right. A dad joke today. JJ, do you know binary? Someone recently tried to explain binary to me. I couldn't understand a bit of it. I say I couldn't understand a bit of it.
Yeah. Well, I think a bit is actually 8 bytes, something like that. Deke, when does a cucumber become a pickle?
I was waiting for us to build I want us to build a music box.
Okay, great. We're gonna do that right now. Okay, when does a cucumber become a pickle?
100 days.
100 days. That's a good answer, but the actual answer is when it goes through a jarring experience.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I got one for Lily.
Hold on. Let me take the ears off. Deacon has a joke for you, dear.
What?
All right, I got a joke for you. What animal is not allowed on the zoo's question team? on the Zoo's quiz team?
What animal is not allowed on the Zoo's question team?
The cheetah.
Oh, he's a cheetah.
Cheetah.
Don't cheetah.
Don't cheetah.
Lily, do you remember your line? You look right here. What's your line?
So, like and subscribe.
Right here.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. We're here. Yes, dear.
Let's go down.
I know we're gonna Legos. We're gonna go do Legos right now.
Do Legos. It's very important.
There's actually a key.
Okay.
There's a key that you have to twirl around and then it goes.
That's right. We got all that.
Okay. Your clothes are on inside out. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow and Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock. We are your two dads.